And we're live. All right. Well, thank you for the six people that have already showed up. So, for this live stream, we're going to look into secret societies and expose many things that how they're interconnected with each other. What is the purpose of these secret societies? And it'll be a kind of an overview because there's so many chapters that each one of them going through the history, the origins, the leaders, the founders. They could probably be 6 hours, if not more, for each chapter. When I was on Bruce Cesal channel, my brother's astronomy channel, Kurt, who is the guest that I'm inviting to speak on this topic, saw me, and he ended up clicking on my channel and popping up in the comments, and we ended up having some really interesting offline discussions on Messenger, and I kind of regretted it because I was like, like just the conversation that we had offline would have been a great recording and video because we touched on a lot of subjects. So specifically here, as I mentioned before, Kurt's going to be the guest, and he is the one that will be sharing his research that he's had over decades based on these secret societies. Me personally, I've looked into these things very superficial, the Illuminati, Freemasons, Skull and Bones, and I really haven't gone far and beyond that. Just the typical stuff that most everybody would say, oh yeah, secret societies, this and that. Kurt's gone a lot deeper into it, and this was the plan of my channel for a while too. I put out Christian content as a Christian, but I also want to have other topics, and secret societies is something that is very, very interesting. I'm curious about that. Are they benevolent? Are they malevolent? What's their purpose? What are they up to? And all of this, are they influencing governments? All sorts of questions that I have. So this will really not really be a discussion between me and Kurt. I'm going to not really put my 2 cents in. What I'm going to do is, along with you, we're going to listen to all of the information that he wants to share, and I'm going to be writing down some questions, and then at the appropriate time, where I'm not cutting him off in the middle of his thoughts or anything like that, I'll also ask questions, and hopefully that'll bring further information out. I will be looking at the comment section, and if you have a direct question or comment for Kurt, please put them in cap locks. So feel free to chat, dialogue with the friends that you have in the community, but so that we don't have any dead air time and that I'm kind of scrolling through and it's not even a question that wants to be acknowledged. So I won't be spending too much time on the chat unless I see specifically something in capital letters, all cap locks. So Kurt is born in Germany. He spent some time in Spain, and he's currently in the Netherlands. So it's probably it's 7 hours in advance, so it's 8 p.m. For Kurt. And without further ado, I'm just going to pop up Kurt, and we can get started. All right, Kurt.
Yeah. Hey.
Welcome to the stream, buddy.
Hello, Jason, and all the chat. So, right. Yeah, good. So we just start with the explanation. So here we go. There, for example, we have here the more
Just a
known
minute.
and
Give me a sec, Kurt. I'm going to share it. Sorry.
okay, no problem.
Let me share screen. My bad. Here you go.
No
We can see
problem.
it.
Okay, okay. Are
Perfect.
we good?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, for example, 25 secret societies in no particular order. Just to get a little overview. So we have the Ancient Order of the Hibernians. I never heard of them. The National Range. Neither heard I of these guys, and the Ancient Order of the Druids. I also have no idea. So they put quite a lot, and there you get what already can see. It's far more than 25, but we will focus on the more important ones, the more well-known ones. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is a little more known. And I read about them years ago, so I started to look inside a little bit, and as you can see, their focus is on magic, and the Golden Dawn system was based on hierarchy and initiation, like the Masonic lodges. And in general, if you can see that they work with magic, you can also expect that they are using rituals, like, for example, the Catholic Church uses also rituals. There's nothing wrong with it. It just depends on what is the purpose of these rituals. So there we go further. Here you can see the Illuminati. Everybody knows these guys, the most famous ones. Now, after many years of people can search the internet, it's quite in the open, and they even have a website where you can become a member. That's very funny. So then we have here the Knight of Columbus, Knights of Pythias, and of course Ku Klux Klan, also a secret society. And yeah, everybody knows these guys and what the purpose was of them. I believe they still exist and they are still in the open, but I didn't look further into it because it's no longer that important. There are far more important groups like the Bilderberger, also, I guess, more known, more famous than Ku Klux Klan and all the others here. The Bilderberger is with a lot of yeah, famous people, politicians, and as you can see here, they are in the United States and in Europe, and I would say most of the secret societies actually exist in the Western world, and you have also in Asia, but these guys have not too much to do with the European or Eastern secret societies, because they do just their own thing. And so now we go a little bit further. The Ordo Templi Orientis is also a more famous one, more known as the rest. And here you can see Aleister Crowley was later on also the head of the OTO, and so he was well known for sex magic and blood rituals and these kind of things. So there you already can see the purpose of this temple wasn't really a good one. So, and there we have also the Thule Society. That's a German one, a German group. And Adolf Hitler, he was a member, and not just a member. He was leading this search for the Übermensch, and so they traveled all around the world. They were in Tibet and in Egypt to collect old artifacts, because they were searching for technology, and that was actually their main goal. But we will go deeper a little bit later on with the Thule Society, and there is the Skull and Bones. They are known also because of it is a university,
Mhm.
in Yale. So this, I think Bush was also a member in this society, and it is mainly from the university, uh, and it was founded there. So this is okay. Then we go further. So these are the top 10. I guess a lot of people know them. So the Bilderberger Group, Illuminati, the Skull and Bones, Council of Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, Priory of Zion, the Bohemian Grove, the Freemasons. Yeah, everybody knows them. Committee of 300 and the Knights Templar. So, okay, so these are the more famous ones. Now, I just have here a little bit of one of the ones they openly speak about magic and use magic, and that is actually the way they improve. Their goal is, of course, to control um, through magic, and there I will read it just a little bit. So
Yep.
in 1887, Westcott obtained part of a manuscript written in brown ink cipher from the, I think, Reverend, I don't know exactly, AFA Woodward Mason. The manuscript appeared to be old, but probably was not. Westcott himself is believed to be the author. Westcott claimed he was able to decipher the manuscript and discovered it and concerned fragments of rituals for the Golden Dawn, an unknown organization that apparently admitted both men and women. So this manuscript, this is like it's how you say, to decode,
Yep.
uh, and so they apparently found that, and then they learned to use it. So Westcott asked an occultist and friend Samuel Little McGregor Mathers to flesh out the fragments into full-scale rituals. Some papers evidently were forged to give the Golden Dawn authenticity, sorry, and history. It was said to be an old German occult order. Westcott produced papers that showed and had been given a charter to set up an independent lodge in England. So yeah, that's actually correct. This order was uh, founded in Germany, and yeah, you can see these most all of them use magic, but not in a good way. So that is actually a problem. So we go a little bit further with the Order Templi Orientis. So this quasi-Mason magical order founded in Germany also, 1901, and focused on sex magic as the key to Hermetic and Masonic secrets. The principal founder of the Ordo Templi Orientis were Karl Kellner and Theodor Reuss. Kellner, born in 1851, was a wealthy Austrian industrialist and metallurgist and a high-ranking Freemason. He also was a member of the Hermetic Brotherhood of Light, which included sex magic in its rituals in the 1890s. Kellner said he met three Eastern adepts, and adepts, these are students of the magic. So they just got introduced, no, how you say?
Yep. Disciples, apostles, in a way.
So yeah, exactly.
Students.
So and Sufi and to Hindu Tantra masters, and received the key to the esoteric mysteries. So, and there, for example, you have the Bavarian Illuminati and the Masonic based order found by Adam Weishaupt. There we come closer to the Illuminati. This was obviously a German guy in 1776. He established the order of the Illuminati, and later on we will talk a lot more about the Illuminati. So we just jump into the
Hmm.
Illuminati, and there we go. So this is how the Illuminati, Luciferian Satanists infiltrated religion, secret societies, and government and hijacked them from within. So these guys did really something. They just infiltrated any secret society on planet Earth. They just could get their hands on. So in 1770, the moneylenders who had recently organized the House of Rothschild. So, because the House of Rothschild, the Rothschilds themselves, they they were bankers, so they were used from the and asked from the Illuminati if they want to join, and it goes even deeper. But there, I have to wait a little bit. So, to revise and modernize the age of old protocols designed to give the synagogue of Satan ultimate world domination, so they can impose the Luciferian ideology upon what remains of the human race after the final social cataclysm by use of satanic despotism. Oh, difficult words. Man, I'm German.
Yeah, you're doing good.
So, Weishaupt, under the direction of Baron Amschel Meyer von Rothschild, that was actually Meyer Amschel was his real name, and Rothschild. This is they are from Frankfurt in Germany, and they had on the top of the house there was a rote Schild, and in English called Rothschild. So Rothschild, that means shield, yeah,
Yeah.
not child. Okay, so Knight of
Okay.
Malta, yeah, the real architect of the Bavarian Illuminati, completed his task May 1st, 1776. Now we know that number. So, so these guys actually, the Illuminati. Here you can see the pyramid. So that there we go into the structure and what the how is it built. So the leader is obviously Satan. That's their god, and Lucifer, what means actually light bringer. It's Latin. Is a son of Satan, and this is his number, also well known all around the planet. And then we have the demons, sons and daughters of Satan and Lucifer, family of the negative force. So fallen angels, those who left the Most High, the old ones, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional, and then we have the generals, chief demons, and archons, aliens, demons, and their pets, the legions of demons, spiritual demons born from humans. So I know that sounds a little bit strange, and most people would say, "Oh, I'm not going there because that cannot exist." And I understand that is, but this is what they believe. This is what they know, and this is what they're after because that will give them the power. So this is how these people think. So then you have here murder, rape, pain, hate, suffer, steal, a lie. This is all negative, and this is all for making people really feel bad. And so the new world order is obviously a big plan of the World Economic Forum and all these secret societies. So there we go. So we know already what is the goal. The goal is to reduce the population, to control the population. To an extent, there were the damn forgot the name. There were the stones. They were blown up. The holy moly! I I remember later. So then we go further here. You see cheat, adultery, bestiality, hypercrisis, torture, greed, envy. It is it's just they love to make people feel bad, and because they suck the energy out of that. That is a part of their magic. So you have the council of 13 families. These are the more, yeah, I would say more known families, and we will come to that also. I have a list of these families. So the committee of 300 and think tank, bankers, law enforcement, and what you see here is, so to speak, only the pyramid, how it is structured, how it is built, and you can see all that bad things they put here out. And here you have the witches. Transgender is also a big part of it. So yeah, that's why they push it so hard. And here you can see us, and that's how they think about us. We are nothing for them. We are like really cattle and sheep, and they really want to control us to the highest extent, and just push us into a corner, and so we are nothing to them. We just can all die. They need only 500 million left, so as their slaves, and to serve them. Right. So we go to the next slide. The part most people don't know about is that there is a group behind all that groups, and everybody thought the Illuminati are on the top, but there is an organization that is some thousands of years old. At least what is known is 1,000 before Christ. So these are the Khazarians, the Khazarian mafia, and these are really evil people, and they are really known for that. So we can read here a little bit about these guys. Quick rundown on the Khazarian mafia. The ancient Canaanites of Judea worship Baal, and this is also their big god, and warded an ancient Israel who believed in Yahweh. Babylon overran Judea and took the Canaanites into Babylonian captivity until they were freed by King Cyrus. So then they existed in the land of Khazaria, which is in southern Russia. This group does not have a Hebrew bloodline leading to Abraham, but Orthodox Jews do. They are a different race. So these guys are not Jews, and they actually infiltrated the Jews. They speak their own language. This is Yiddish. So this is an invented language, you could say, and yeah. So they actually also called a name stealer because they just call themselves Jews, and this is where people get mixed up because when they call themselves Jews since thousands of years, but they are not from blood, and not they never lived there. So that is why people think the Jews are such bad people, but they are in reality are not. The Jews have just a system where they just love money, but who doesn't? So and that makes them look bad. But the Israel is not these bad people, these Khazarian mafia here. So the king of Khazarian Bulan was part of Khazarian mafia who would infiltrate other countries and run satanic rituals and etc. They were robbing people's caravans, but learned robbing people through banking was easier. So the inventors of the bank were actually the Khazarian mafia. So they proposed interest loan payments, but the Christians and Muslims in Khazaria opposed it. The Jewish sect of Khazaria was okay with it, so the king converted to Judaism, and so did his people. In truth, the king worshipped Baal and Satan through. The Rus, means the Russians, had enough of them and destroyed Khazaria forcing Khazarians to migrate to Western Europe, where the Khazarian mafia did dirty work for the European nobles. For example, a lot of the uh, Khazarians live in Poland, and this is close to Germany, so that's why we know that there are Jews. We thought 40 years ago, I thought these were Jewish people, but they speak not Jewish, they speak Yiddish. So, and that, when I later on learned, then I understood, okay, so these are not real Jews. So the Khazarian mafia later produced a man who claimed to Elijah and his son to be the Messiah, who wanted to create Israel in Palestine since the Middle East was rich in oil. They could tap into that wealth. They formed Zionism. So later, two other false messiahs appeared, including Jacob Frank, who claimed the Gnostic belief that the God of the Bible is evil and that all that he says not to do should be done, including raping kids or incest. Wow. Right. I will today not go too much deeper into the Khazarians because this is just freaking me out sometimes. These are very evil people. So then I will make a connection because the Rothschilds are actually also Khazarians, and they are the front runners or the face of the Khazarian mafia without the people knowing. Okay, take that away. So Rothschilds lead the 13 Illuminati families that run the world today. Uh, Here we go. So on the top you see the Illuminati, and don't forget they are just the face of the Khazarian mafia. A banking and money group, international money, central banks, and International Monetary Fund, World Bank, International Bank of Settlements, World Conservation Bank, multinational corporations, foundations. Here you see they are all included. That's how the Illuminati just infiltrated all these secret societies and took them over. So the Freemasonry, Skull and Bones, Grand Oriental Lodge, Grand Alpina Lodge, Knights Templar, the Royal Order of the Garter, Priory de Sion, Rosicrucian. The Rosicrucian actually was one of the little secret societies with good intentions, and their leader was as far as I remember, a German guy, and he had really good intentions. But yeah, they got took over, and then this happens very often. So yeah, it's really sad because some of these groups had well meant it well for humanity, and but yeah, they just got took over. So you have the political groups, national government leaders. They are all in it. The United Nations, the Bilderbergers, Trilateral Commission, Council of Foreign Relations, Club of Rome. The German Chancellor Merkel, she was a member of the Club of Rome, and Klaus Schwab is also a member of the Bilderbergers, and I think he's nearly in all of these. Um, but that is for another show. I guess we talk about the web then later on, because this is actually also a secret society, but not a secret anymore or any longer. They just went out in the open and just blatantly tell what they want to do with us, and this is really sick. So the intelligence groups, there we have the CIA and the KGB and the FBI and actually all three levels agencies in the United States are really, really bad and controlled from these guys here. So the British intelligence, mafia, organized crime, drug cartels, yeah, it's all interconnected. CIA are drug runners. They
Mhm.
sell drugs, and so they make the money for the dark projects they have. And Interpol, and obviously the Communist Party. So you have also the religious groups here, or World Council of Churches, National Council of Churches, World Parliament of Religions, Vatican. Yeah, the Vatican. Yeah, that really has nothing to do with the Catholic Church actually, because this is it's not Italy even. It's its own little piece of land with their own rules and laws and regulations. So New Age cult groups, liberal Protestants, denominations, Unity Church, Unitarian Universalist Church, Baha'i Temple of Understanding. And
Mm.
you have here also these other groups through the UNESCO, World Peace Groups, and Planetary Congress, World Federalist Association, World Constitution and Parliament Association, environmental groups, Lucis Trust, World Goodwill, World Union, Esalen Institute, Media Establishment, and here actually you have to add the Red Cross. They're not here, but they are also part of it. So the structure of the Rothschild Zionist mafia control the Rothschild dynasty is unquestionably the most powerful visible bloodline on earth, and their estimated wealth is around 500 trillion. So yeah, they have a little bit of money. But yeah, it's all fake because they printed just with one push of the button. Round them all up simultaneously and prosecute them in a court of the people for crimes against humanity. That is what I hope will happen, and that needs only to humanity to wake up, and we are on our way to wake up, and I'm positive, and but I just want to show here that how evil these people really are, and what their goals are, and how they don't care about humanity, humans, children. This is nothing for them. They kill you. They don't care. They have no empathy. I sometimes think they are not real humans because they are really, really evil people. So their mass murder in their fake wars for 300 years, while their war goes on for thousands of years. They were the Khazarian mafia were raping and murdering and blood rituals and sex how you say sex magic and all that. That is it comes all from these people. So this is really sick. And all wars are banksters, fake wars started with false flags. MSM is their mouthpiece. Yeah, that you can absolutely see it. And here we go. Secret 13 Illuminati families. That could be the Rothschilds, Bruce, Cavendish, Kennedy. Yeah, you read that right. Kennedys are also in.
Is that Bruce C's alt channel you're specifying under the Rothschilds?
No, no, no,
Is
no,
that what
yeah,
you
no,
think?
no, no, that's not, that's not your
I knew
problem.
it. I knew it. Okay.
Well, he would have like 10 million followers if he would be a member. So,
All
oh,
right, I
I had
had
an
to do that
accident.
one.
Yeah, I had an accident at work. A metal fall onto my chest, man. When I laugh, it hurts still. So the Hanover, these are German. Habsburg, also German. Krupp, a German, big company since the Second World War. Uh, they were actually supporting Adolf Hitler. Plantagenet, I think this is a French, Rockefeller, and Romanov, the Russian. Sinclair or Sinclair, Warburg, Del Banco, and the Windsors. So these are the English guys. These families institutionalize their greed and sick need for domination in institutions, states with their own laws, with the goal of mafia-run New World Order, including depopulation and enslavement. Now I remember the stones they called the Georgia Guidestones, and
Mhm.
they put them up. It was I think 1948, and nobody knew who put them there. So, but it was really freaky. I didn't take a picture from them, but it stood, as far as I remember, in four main languages, and they put their goal there. And one of the goals was to reduce the population to 500 million because it saves the planet. Thank you
Mhm.
very much. And but last year, oh, I have to try now. Sorry. Last year they got blown up, so they broke them down. Then they came with a crane and they took them away, and since then they never built them back up. So I guess that was a sign for these guys that there is also a good force helping humanity to wake up and to tell these people that, hey, guys, you are not the number one here on this planet. You can try, and they do. They give everything because it's really a big war we are in, and a lot of people really don't understand how true that is that we are in a war. It's a psychological war. It's not with the weapons. There's no shooting, but hey, the mainstream media does its job good.
Mhm.
They pushing all that nonsense at us, and that's why I stopped watching television 1997 when I got internet. So that's
Mhm.
when I started to dig in all that stuff. So these families, they are just greedy and like it says here, and they want to dominate the whole planet. And but the point also is that there are all different factions of these people, so they are not all pulled on the same rope. They also have they all want to have the control, and that means they have also infight, and that is good for us. So because then they are not so strong, they
Yeah.
they weaken themselves, so they have to fight with each other also, and not just with the good guys and humanity. So right, okay, then I also have a little movie, or we can also, if you have questions or the chat has questions, we can also do that before we watch a little movie.
Okay.
And yeah, just let me know.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. Thanks for just saying hello to Star.
Okay, hello.
Oh, great job so far, man. Like
Well,
really interesting stuff.
if you
I
read it,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you read it inside your mind, it's easier. But when you have to speak out, these
No, but
words are some of them are
it's
really.
good.
But
And
thank you.
it's nice that there's like visuals and stuff like that. Maybe
Sure. Otherwise, it's really
towards the end, maybe
boring.
we can post in the chat the link to that site as well if people want to do further study on it for
Sure, sure, sure.
things like
Uh,
religions.
Also, what I want to say is that the most, not most, all of it, I found. I use Yandex. This is a Russian browser
Okay.
and a search machine also. And there you find a lot of things. You click in and you find also the stuff in Google, but it's only Wikipedia. That is not the real information. You find sure all the good stuff, but most of the things you're looking for, or even all the things, you can find in Yandex. It is a really a good search engine.
Okay. Great.
So just for people to know if they try to find that stuff and it doesn't pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was one comment, and I think that you pretty much answered it. It says, Michael says, if they have secrecy, wouldn't that be considered malevolent? It seems like you said that there are some that have been that perhaps started out with benevolent
positive
good
intention.
intentions, but they've been infiltrated, pretty much like
Well,
the Canadian government. You know, it's like they're
I'll
just
give you a good
infiltrating.
example. I'll give you a good example. Christians were a secret society.
Okay.
That is, for example, in that time it was a secret society. They made the fish on the ground, That was the
Yeah.
sign that they are all together. And of course, the Rosicrucians were a secret society, but also with good intentions. Then uh, the problem is that if you reach a level of power, it it's yeah, you can get easy
Corrupts.
corrupted. This is the
100%.
big problem, and there you have to be stood fast. How is this? How you say? Stood fast?
Say it again.
Stood fast or stand fast?
Steadfast. Yeah,
Stand fast.
steadfast.
Right. Sorry. So yeah, you have to be really strong and not to not be um how you say what's the word,
Deceived or
deceived or yeah, or just corrupted, bought. It is just it's really difficult for most people on planet Earth. Um, if you offer somebody 1 million for doing something nasty, bad, not legal, most people would say yes if
yeah.
there is nothing else they have to do afterwards. But that's the problem.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you if you
I
in, you're
fell
in. You,
I fell on I think it's called William the Detective or something, and it's basically people that are just politicians, but I'm not even talking about like federal or anything, just municipal, like judges, police and stuff. And the guy has a YouTube channel that he just shows that. And I mean, it's like we're talking about just being a police in a town, and he's just showing from body cam images and stuff like that, like the insane
sure.
amount of hubris and corruption. Now we're just talking about something like a municipal judge or a mayor of a town.
Yeah.
Imagine as we get higher. I have a few questions.
Sure.
Um,
Shoot.
well, let's say Freemasons. You had mentioned that Freemasons, pretty much anybody can kind of apply for a membership. Would you say that this is not
People
really
didn't.
Freemason? They do good. They do volunteer work. They give money to charity. Some
Well, that
people are part of the Freemasons, but really, it's like not really.
that's a
It's
front.
just
That's just a front. It's just like the a lot of people don't know how really bad the Red Cross is. They are actually working with or they are in Ukraine, and they are working there to help to steal children. And a lot of people don't know that these are really evil people.
I
The
mean,
Red Cross.
it has like a red cross.
Yeah,
Like
it
what's
has a red cross,
it
and that
built
there we
for?
go to the then you have the Knights of Malta. They have a I think no, they have a cross, but not a red cross. Then and you have the Knights Templar. They have a red cross. I
And they're
personally
dealing with blood. The Red Cross is
and
dealing with blood.
they're dealing with blood, so you can imagine they also deal with the adrenochrome.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I'm gonna mark that just so we don't forget because
Yeah,
yeah, that's important.
yeah,
Hollywood
sure.
and stuff are probably
Woo,
right into that, eh?
holy cow!
So
Yeah, it's
green
so
chrome.
so mean.
Okay, next question I had. Some of them you already answered. So I think that the pyramid that'd be something cool that we could do future just on that
Oh
pyramid
sure,
of
oh
negative.
sure, man. There is
That
so much.
was really a good pyramid. So initially, before I saw that, I was talking about like the oldest and the origins, and I it appears Illuminati, but if you look at this pyramid, this is powers and principalities. This is uh,
It's yeah,
these
bureaucracy and
spiritual core.
well yeah, that's what I try to say. It is a spiritual war. Is good versus evil, and I know that sounds crazy and it is difficult for people to get their head around. But when you you look closer and also step just back and watch what they do and what they put out. It is pure evil. Come on, man. I mean, they how you say that they take a little children and they mutilate them.
Yeah, they torture them, right? So the adrenaline or
Not,
something
no,
goes
no, no,
into
no,
the
not
blood.
just that also, but no, we don't go there now yet in the adrenochrome because when I read that, I got really angry, and I have to prepare myself to talk about that.
Yeah.
But what I mean is with they brainwash the children now, the young children, and they brainwash also the parents. So the parents tell the children, yeah, but do you want to be a girl or a boy? Or excuse me, this is not normal.
What
This
about the you had brought up several times. So like a lot of people just think like, oh yeah, these rituals and for example, let's talk about sex
blood
magic.
sex
A lot of people
rituals,
just think it
blood
is there
magic.
is there real power and what exactly why is sex like what's the purpose of the sex magic
Okay, sex magic
in
is
your opinion?
working. You can use it positive in a positive way, and you can
Like
also
tantra?
use it like tantra, but also because, for example, if you if you and your wife are making love, I never call it sex because it's making love. It's the highest expression of our body. We are able, as soul and spirit, what we are able to express physically. So that is for me love, making love. And also, love is the highest vibration in the universe. So that's why I call it making love.
Yeah.
And when you and your wife, you know about these things, you can use your energy and you can bring this energy together and you can actually make love with your soul. So it is a much higher expression and the orgasm will be totally different. I can promise you that. And the energy that is produced, you can use together to, if let's say you have a goal, you want to do something beautiful or you want to create something. And creation or something what comes into the materium is always first a thought or a picture. I
True.
go even further. It is first a picture because that's when we were talking about the I'm healthy and I'm rich. Well, a lot of people try that one, but because the subconsciousness is working against that, it's just like that. When you say I'm rich or I will be rich. When you say, for example, I will be rich or I will be healthy, you give your subconsciousness always time to work against it. After one day, maybe you get one negative thought and think, yeah, maybe it doesn't work. No, oh, man, I do it again. I will be rich. I will be rich. Yeah, and
Mhm.
so it's a fight between yourself, your subconsciousness, and your consciousness. So go back to the making love. So when you actively um, you you use this energy to do something good. You
Yeah.
can, let's say you say we want to spend that energy to heal somebody, you know, in your family or a friend,
Mhm.
for example, or you can do it to heal yourself. It doesn't really matter. You can use it for yourself. This is not forbidden or anything. It's your energy, but it's important that you do it conscious and you think about it. And so this is sorry, this is sex magic, how they call, it, but they use it in a totally different way,
So
and it works. And
yeah.
it works because it's also these rituals they do. They are so old. Um, we were talking about the church, how you go there and you drink the wine, what is supposed supposedly the blood, and you
Mhm.
have that white thing that is the flesh.
Yeah, that's
It's
Catholic Catholicism.
yeah, that's a sacrifice. That's a blood sacrifice.
Yeah.
They repeat that over thousands of years, now, and it works. Of course, it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
What about so I think everyone can understand, like a husband and wife making love, the difference between just making love and physically doing the act. With
Yeah, sure.
so, but
Everybody knows the
what's the
difference.
other extreme that they're doing? We don't have to go, too much into graphics, but so now you're doing, let's say, this sex magic, uh, into the black sex magic. So what are they doing? Like, are these people willingly going and just having an orgy, or are people are they
Sometimes
working against
they
people's
yeah,
will? Is it about degrading? Is it about
sometimes they use kind of slaves. Uh, yeah, mostly women.
you think human
Slaves
a large amount of the human trafficking
has to do with that.
that's occurring as well?
They're
Um,
used. It's used there. Yes, also
yeah,
absolutely.
like
No,
I think the Vatican, right? Like I think that they're involved with that,
holy
and
cow.
but some are asking as well about Hollywood. Um, these are like, you don't have to go too much in depth, because like I said, we just took a break, but I mean, just the questions, we could probably have
It's
three
quite
hours.
evil
I,
stuff. Yeah, sure.
yeah, but he was saying, is it true that you have to be a Freemason? He says slash witch to be famous actor, musician, athlete. Is that completely true, partly true, not true? I
It,
think to a certain extent, I'm not sure about
yeah,
athletes, but
sure. You can say so. Musicians or actors
definitely,
mainly are not necessarily a member of the Illuminati. That is then when you are higher up, when you're
yeah.
really famous, then it happens more or less automatically. They will ask you if you want to be a member, like Tom Cruise, for example. He went to the, how you call the guys?
Scientology,
No,
Ron Hubbard,
Scientology
Scientology.
Scientology Church,
Yeah,
Church of Scientology. Yes,
yeah,
I read the book, and the idea was actually really good, and actually had to do with your soul, and to improve that, and with your spirit. So you were actually working with that, but it just got taken over, and now it's all about money.
yeah,
And sure, if you're rich and famous, yeah, they want you in there. So you good.
yeah,
Yeah, really good for them.
yeah. Also, so oh, go ahead. I have a
Yeah,
question
well,
after.
I just finished that. So mostly the actor or the yeah, we start with the actors. They are normally, and Mel Gibson, he pointed it out, that normally you cannot become famous if you don't follow the rules. So you have to actually, yeah, you have to rape somebody, or you have to be yeah, corrupted. You have to
Yeah,
be, yeah. They will buy you, and you cannot become really famous if you don't go with that. And
yeah,
with the musicians is mainly they do it with they do it with drugs. They give them all the drugs they want or they don't want, and they push it to the limit with these guys. And of course, I'm certain they do also these rituals and stuff, and you just get into it much easier when you're on drugs.
yeah. Well, do
So
you think that Epstein's island, in the last
yeah,
2 years that came up and stuff? I think that there's so many powerful, influential people that it's they. Well, first of all, I think that he didn't hang himself personally.
nobody believes
I think everybody's
that.
aware of that. Like, yeah,
Cameras off,
this
come
is.
on, the guys fall asleep, and sure, sure.
I'm sure the majority
Yeah,
of the names that we know in Hollywood, government, and everything were there on that island. What about like um, pornography, the porn industry and stuff? Do you think that this is a way of
photography.
sending sex magic out? Because we have children. The sites, you don't even need to press "I'm 18" anymore.
Oh my
It's
gosh, and
like,
it pops up without you don't want it even. Yeah, you don't want it, and it just pops up. It's
no,
like
no, exactly.
it's an ad, and you watch. I watched recently Formula One replay and or rewatch, and it just pops up. Call me, blah blah blah, and the
Yeah.
number, and I'm like, what the heck? Where does that come from? And I have two ad bloggers, so that can actually not really happen. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
because
And I
there's
have
definitely
VPN.
studies. There's studies in psychology and stuff like that. How pornography that can lead to porn addiction affects even adults,
Of
where they can
course,
have
it can lead
impotency and
to
stuff like that. But
exactly.
imagine children that are clicking on this at 8 years old before their
It's
brain is
tough for them.
developed.
I imagine that it is really terrible for the growing up and
Yeah,
for their soul, because they just don't understand what's going
yeah,
on. And because when you see how where that goes, it gets more and more violent, and it has nothing to do with sex in my point of
no.
view. I don't understand what they show. I'm serious. I really don't. That
It's
is
funny
not.
how like in school now, I think that they're not even teaching math, English, and stuff like that. Basically, their priority is to push ideologies
Exactly.
that are I don't want to be specific. So there are ideologies that demand affirmations, and but meanwhile they're completely fine with the sexualization of children. No one's saying, at least, well, you know what, for any pornographic, whether it's soft eroticism, to be on the internet, at least you need a visa. You know, it should be at least at least behind a paywall. It's out in the open. Here they are talking about the children, making them more inclusive, but you have this bombardment of pornography. I had did one video before I let you continue. Is I think it's called a hypersexual culture, and for me, I'm trying to live a spiritual life, and to not lust in my heart and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It's almost impossible because we're not even just talking about pornography. I mean, the shorts, the TikTok, everything that I'm doing, it's just
it's madness.
yeah, it's quite difficult for somebody to try and live to try and refine and to live with higher not necessarily
Value.
artistic instincts. It's so the whole society is bombarding.
It's totally
uh,
great. I
did you
agree.
want to say, did you know a little bit more, as you mentioned, I was aware a little bit of that, but the Nazi connection to the occult, what exactly was going on there? I know I've read about Hitler being in a way tormented by a demon. Did you ever hear anything like that? He felt that he was tormented or something by an
He
entity.
used a lot of drugs, and also a lot of drugs to just to get a higher consciousness, to reach his higher consciousness.
Yeah.
And they say that he had a demon, or talking to a demon, and well, there are
So what was
evil
was the
forces.
war? Was the war like primarily was his purpose? You think, in your opinion, uh, dividing, to conquer territory? Was that his primary purpose? And the occult aspect was trying to gain an advantage. Like what? You know what I mean? Like what was it? Because
Yeah,
was this just
I
for him?
know.
Was he just in the occult for his own thing, or was this something that the whole Nazi regime, in a way, had a whole branch of, or something? A whole
Yeah,
division
no, no.
almost.
This was a secret society, and they had the society, or the Vril society. Vril is this life force, what in China they call Qi,
Hmm.
and they thought they can use that to control, or to make weapons from it, and even further. So, but the point exactly is what a lot of people don't know. The war, he got pushed into that war. He didn't want to make that war. That he got paid from the Deutsche Bank. He got paid from the Vatican. He got paid from England. So, and from the Rothschilds, of course.
Yeah.
So he got all that money for the war, but his main goal actually was way different, and that has to do with Antarctica, for
Yes,
example.
that's another. That's a whole topic. Yeah, yeah.
That's a whole topic. With so I'm not going there, but I only will like
It's
take a little
another.
bit from it. They also had Maria Osic, that was an how you say. She was a channel. She could channel other entities,
Okay.
and what were two more women. All of these women had hair to the ground, so that is they believe that is like an antenna. So I
Yeah.
don't have too much antenna,
Me neither.
but
We're antenna
yes,
antenna-less.
but I'm fine.
We
So
have, we have Wi-Fi. So
exactly, we have Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
So and but these three women channeled to they thought the Pleiades, and they got instructions. And these instructions, they made plans from that,
Mhm.
and these are the frill flying machines.
Okay.
And there are even pictures from it. So next time we can go.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
if
Like
it's
this
not in
is-
these movies, because I just watched the first part, the first 9 minutes is
yeah.
5 parts. So if it's not in the movies, then I will bring that to the next one if it happens. If people still want to listen and are
Oh
interested
yeah.
in this
No, I'm
kind of
sure.
thing.
I'm sure you're going to like it or not be hear many times
Tormented, lose my
these things
speech
for sure.
from dry throat.
I'm trying to think. I had what was this guy's name? It's not Helena Blavatsky. It was a man, but he had a whole book on, and I used to have it, and I got rid of it. But it was basically what was his name? I'll think of it at one point, and
Sure,
we
sure,
we
sure.
won't waste our time on that.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you know Helena Blavatsky, you know her? You read the book?
yes, yeah. When I was on my spiritual search, I read everything.
Well, I read the books. Did you read the Urantia book?
The which one?
Urantia. It's
No.
you. Yeah, well,
Uh,
I will post you that link later on if
all
you
right.
like. It's only 3,000 pages, so it's
Only.
easy. It's an easy read. So they talk about Lucifer and angels, and
Yeah.
it's also a channel book from a couple of men. They came together, I think, in the 60s. What it was, and it's really interesting. And
Yeah.
well, man, part of it must be true because it feels true to me.
No, that's it. I have a few questions, but we don't. If you think that this will be answered with the rest, when I give you back the floor, and you can just keep on going. If this is going to be answered as well, then we can stop, not talk about it. It might be answered.
We see.
It was well, you did answer in a way with the triangle, that period, that hierarchy about
Yeah,
the connection to the world, one world government, which I think is being the speaker is the World Economic Forum and stuff, like you had said. They
100.
are blatantly not. They're saying it like
It's out in the open, man.
giving the impression that it's like, oh, now we can just blatantly tell you guys what we're doing because we've thought of all the little possible things that you guys can do and we're ready, so we can throw it in your face, kind of thing. um maybe
Yeah,
maybe at the end we could tie in these secret societies. Does this have anything to do with, let's say, Bruce Seazall channel, the activity that we see on the moon, light orbs, what people are believing is possibly these are of origin intergalactic, extraterrestrial. There's also people that think perhaps it's like that pyramid shows, fallen angels, or
it's
spirit
all
beings,
connected.
dimensions. Well, we don't have to go now because you might answer those, but I made a little mark there. So if we have
Oh,
time at
you
the
have
end,
some notes you have. Three
And like
pages.
news and social media, like uh, would I be wrong to say that in a way that is a form of magic? I mean, obviously it's a programming. We see how
Yeah,
it's
it's
completely a social engineering tactic. But would you say that the repetition and what we're looking at, Hollywood and stuff like that, does this have a magical power in your opinion? It's not just entertainment.
okay. Yeah,
What do you
correct.
think?
It,
Yeah,
it,
you agree?
it is kind of magic, but I would rather prefer to call it metaphysics, because magic it's always in a negative way. People look at it always in a negative way. You remember when we're talking about the needle in the glass of
Yeah,
water?
yeah.
They would call it magic. I call it metaphysics. It's
Yeah.
just you control things with your mind and with your
There's
thought.
and I'll stop and after let you start because I don't think there's that many more questions, but there is one scripture that says that the kings of the earth will deceive the nations with sorcery. So they use the word sorcery, but when you look on Strong Concordance, like what's the original word, and what are all the possible meanings? It
Yeah,
says in Greek, it's the Greek word pharmakia. So really, it's very very relevant that the kings of the earth will deceive the nations with pharmakia, with medicine. And I think that the kings, this is just my interpretation. I was like, wow, kings, like I mean, we have prime ministers, maybe there's some Arab nations that have princes, and there's King Charles. I said, but I think what they mean by kings are the large corporations that we see are
the
deciding.
leaders, the
And
leaders.
even then, I like you said, those guys are front men. They're not the top of the hierarchy.
Yeah, yeah,
For
they are
us
controlled.
sheep, us cattle, we see them as the farmers, but the farmers are controlled
Sure,
by something bigger.
and
So,
sure.
yeah, so it was very shocking when I looked and I realized what the word was, because when you hear magic in the scriptures and sorcery,
Yeah,
you think like, oh,
well, there is
herbs.
a difference. There is a
Yeah, but
difference.
pharmakia, whoa, that's quite impressive.
So
Um,
we can surely we can talk about, if people are interested, we can one day also talk
yeah,
about
yes,
magic and sorcery and what is the difference. What does it really mean? What do you do with that, or how do you learn it?
yeah.
We can do
We
that
could do a long one
if
as
there is
well on
interest.
the Vatican. Like the Vatican, we could have just one show on
One
just
segment
the
of that.
Vatican.
Well, right. I need to prepare. Can I drink a beer then?
Hey,
So, can I drink a beer or something stronger with? I have to talk about it.
sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Sure,
I'll mail you
sure.
some Valium.
No, 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 no. I will
What about
take it.
CERN? What are your thoughts about CERN and the Hadron
CERN.
Collider and the
Well,
Shiva, the destroyer
in front of
statue?
it, now it tells you everything.
Yeah, I'm
Switzerland
trying to
is
stay
not.
question.
Switzerland is not for nothing in neutral.
Yeah. Okay, you know what?
Sure.
I'll the only thing I had was adrenochrome, but like you said, that's a very brutal topic that we can
Well,
leave for another time. We might have to be creative the way we express ourselves, just with the words.
we
We
are
use.
on YouTube. We can we talk about these kind of things actually in
Well, you
YouTube?
know what? Let's keep it for another stream so that we don't ruin this one and get it banned, and we can just press our,
Band
we'll
and
just test the line. One of the benefits of being like a tiny
holy
channel
moly! Yeah, yeah. Well, really,
radar.
I have to prepare myself to talk about that.
Yeah,
So
no, it's disgusting. Yeah, we'll have to be careful. Kind of like the alphabet soup issue. So
yeah,
why don't let's just continue. I don't think that there is any other questions. Let me just check. Um,
maybe later
yeah,
on.
we answered Michael's. He was talking about artists and musicians, especially Hollywood and musicians.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think we all agree that they have to do
there are a
some.
lot of pedophiles in it, and this is
Yeah,
how you look. Tom Hanks is more of the known one,
yeah,
and oh my God, when I saw things of this guy, I couldn't believe what I see, and
yeah.
yeah,
Kurt,
it's really.
do you have any content that you are making on your channel? Because I would show it right now before we continue. No.
I have also a Rumble channel, and there is I think one video whereas Obama was still president, and he said he was questioned about Area 51 and if there are aliens, and
Yeah.
they say aliens are controlling. Did you see this one?
Yeah, yeah.
It was really funny, and
I would
yeah,
encourage you
he said it
to
out loud.
start doing content. I mean, StreamYards. You've seen the panel. It's very simple. Anyways, that's for
Sure.
another. I'll convince you to do content
All right, okay.
offline.
We talk with that. Then I have a beer when we talk about it.
There you go. Yeah,
And then
but
we can do that in a
you
private chat.
would be able to make some very interesting content. Um,
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think
People can
about it, but I just
write in the chat what they think of this. But this has been. I think we stopped and took a break around 45 minutes into the presentation. So what I'm going to
sure.
do is I'm going to zip my mouth again, and if you want, we can start the second half of what you.
Second half is actually the last part because
Perfect.
if it's like nearly 50 minutes of video, but I will maybe stop in between, or you can also, like I said, you can always interrupt. You can ask me, can you stop, please? I
Yeah.
want to ask something before I forget, or people really
I'm
get
right.
like, okay,
I'm writing everything down. So.
holy
Um,
moly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, I have a big mouth, so I promised myself that I was going to have you as a guest speaker, not putting in too much of my 2 cents. I'm very proud of
That's
myself.
okay.
The pen and paper allows me to write things as you're speaking and just, not be interrupted.
Right.
Okay, when you're ready, continue. I'm just going to blow my nose. I'm starting a cold,
Of course, of
uh,
course.
but you start as you wish.
Okay, people. So this will be the last part, and it is just about the Nazis and
I'll
the
share the screen.
Nazi cult, and what I talked before, the will, the energy that they were collecting or trying to collect. So, okay, there we go. I hope it's not too loud.
A little-known occult group may have been an inspiration for one of the most terrifying ideologies of the 20th century. It formed a dark fellowship that was established nearly 100 years ago. It seems that its original members believed that they could live below the Earth's surface and fly to distant stars. Their power would be a mysterious substance called Vril. They also believed that one day they would take over the world. They came very close. The mysterious group claimed influence in the highest ranks of the German power structure of the 1930s. This dark fellowship may have been a Nazi cult. The stories of history's dark fellowships strike fear into many hearts. But what are the truths behind the stories? Throughout history, there have been secret organizations striving for influence in political circles. But if the bizarre legends about the Brill Society are true, the organization is particularly unsettling.
So I stop for a moment,
Good, good.
just to let you guys know something.
Well, you
Uh,
know what? It's perfect because I was like, he needs to stop it and not play it completely through, or else they'll say copyright. but as long as you're playing a little bit,
Okay, yeah.
playing a little bit, it's perfect because
These things you have to let me know because I have
no, I
no idea
I
about the
just started
rules
thinking about it.
here.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you can play
And we don't even have to watch it completely. But I wanted to say that I didn't watch that. I just watched the first 20 seconds to see if the audio is good.
yeah, it is.
If I think they show the real meaning behind it, and they just showed what I told you, and that I only knew from books. I read online book, and
Yeah.
that was nine.
Yeah, so play it as much as you want. Just try and like comment a couple of times. Stop it.
Yeah. I
Maybe
will
add a
interrupt
comment,
and
and we'll
maybe
be
explain
fine with it.
certain things, and then we'll be good. We'll be
Perfect.
fine. Okay,
Go ahead.
so we
Continue.
continue.
Share screen. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Make sure it's up though. Perfect.
The Frill Society is the most mysterious German secret society ever in history. They were originally founded before the Second World War, and their influence reaches out even till today.
Its members are said to have included senior figures in the Nazi Party, like Hermann Goering, Heinrich Himmler, and even Adolf Hitler.
The Vril Society was a dark fellowship. They sought to achieve the mastery of the Aryan race.
Before they were able to influence the Nazis, Vril occultists worked in complete secrecy, doing anything to promote Aryan power.
What they did, that ranged from straightforward political assassinations, trying to evoke the spirits of the dead, good old-fashioned, what one might call sexual orgies, and more sinisterly, human sacrifice.
Right.
Michael Fitzgerald.
I will make another break
Yeah.
just to let you guys and you, Jason, know. Because I didn't watch it, I should have maybe watched it before because I don't know what they will show, and then I don't want to shock somebody, or I don't know how you say that, but I don't think it will be really bad because it's on YouTube, so it
Yeah.
shouldn't be really evil or something like that. But just for people they are not how you say resistant against these kind of things, that nobody thinks really bad about me because I
Before
really
no problem.
didn't
Before
watch
you
it.
go, just Jules, and I'll give my response. She said my grandfather was a Mason. He was a great man, and I think it's like we had said, right? That of course these secret societies and the lodges and the Freemasons, you can be several levels, and they're doing charities for hospitals. They're doing community
Well,
work, and these people that are within a lot of these societies, it's like a storefront. It's like this is the store, and it's a laundromat, but behind, it's a racketeering mafia behind it. So
yeah,
it's definitely
exactly.
not to put down necessarily people that are unaware of the deeper truths, that are just there. It's a social gathering. It's a club. They do good works. Would you agree with that? That obviously
Sure.
many.
You don't forget that they have 33 levels. The
Yeah.
number 33, that is the head of the loge, you call in German.
Yeah.
And when you on level 1 or level 2, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You get an introduction into that, but that's all that it is. And you do work for them. That's what we said. These are like the faces, the good Samaritans. They do good things. They show themselves as really good people, and they are good people because they want to do good. This is what I said in the beginning. It in the beginning, all these secret societies were actually meant for good, for doing good, but they just got infiltrated, and the people got corrupt, and because you reach a certain level of power, oh my goodness, yeah, you don't want to give it up. and
Yeah.
then it's just, and that just happened to most of them, the secret societies.
It is so Albert Pike, is he truly the founder or not really? Because I know
Say
he's the
again?
one that wrote isn't it Albert Pike, I think? Is that the name of the big Freemason? Let me check.
Albert Pike, I know the name.
Yeah, Albert. I think he is known as says Albert Pike was an American author, poet, orator. Um, okay, Masonic leader, but I don't know if he was just maybe a leader at one point.
You know, it's just like
Who knows, right?
many times that they are mainly the big people in front, or people they enter these societies is mainly also rich people. Uh, they come in higher up levels, and also the how you say the king and queens and
And
earls, and how you call them. So,
no, it makes sense. It's like if you're just Joe next door,
regular
they'll allow you to enter,
Pueblo.
but and if you have, let's say, political power, then they decide to what level perhaps that you're going, right? You know,
Sure. And
if it
what,
benefits them.
what you're willing to do for. Because
Exactly.
mainly, when you go in there, either you rape some little children, so sorry, or you murder somebody and they watch, or they make a movie. So you're not getting out
No.
without
The
problems.
Michael makes the comment. The first initiation in Freemasonry is secret from wife, children, and friends. Well, I'm sure it's a secret society, so you probably do a pledge, and
There's no way out. You have to zip it
yeah.
because they will murder you, and that's not a joke. So these are really
Okay.
evil people.
All right. Okay. I'll
Right. So
let you continue, Kurt.
we continue a little bit,
Yes.
so we don't get a
Floor is
strike.
yours. I will add to stream.
Okay,
Share screen. Go ahead.
here we go.
To identify the secrets of the Vril Society. Few records exist, but he claims first-hand sources.
Some of my information about the Vril Society has come from direct sources. Some of them swore me to secrecy during their lifetime and have now died.
So he is now free to offer his assessment.
The Vril Society was a group of people founded at the end of the First World War, and it included many people who were to go on to become prominent in the Nazi Party.
Like any secret society, it had its secret practices. But what made the Vril Society so unique was its members' obsession with an intangible power force called Vril.
This power was universal energy. It could do anything. All currents of harm and healing and so on were enclosed within it. It's similar to the Indian concept of prana in many ways, or the Chinese concept of qi.
Chinese philosophers believe that qi is the life energy that runs through us all. The Vril Society believed they could harness this energy.
And they believed that Vril power could be used to gain material power.
So they were frantically searching for this Vril force.
Dutchman Theo Pijmans has dedicated 25 years of his life to studying the Vril Society.
My research has established that certain bureaus in Nazi Germany were frantically searching for this new energy.
Obtaining supernatural power might require supernatural efforts.
They sought the power of Vril through a variety of different means. There were naturally meditative practices, which were obviously the mainstay of most of their activities.
But they weren't meditating to gain inner peace.
The theory is that they practice these meditation techniques in order to further the strength of the Vril in themselves.
If it was a strength that could potentially dominate the world, wouldn't the members of the Vril Society have done more than esoteric meditation to attain it?
They were also very involved with what one might call loosely sex magic.
There's an enormous history of sexual magic, going back to witches and witches using sexual powers. This is nothing new.
Members of the society are said to have used the magic of sex to summon the power of Vril.
There were some sexual practices that went on in the Vril Society.
This carnal method of harvesting Vril was less magical and closer to an excuse for swapping partners.
They were swingers.
Group sex and meditation couldn't really be considered evil and were not exactly unique in the early 20th century. But the Vril Society may have had more sinister rituals.
The darkest side of the Vril was undoubtedly their belief, which dates back many thousands of years, that to sacrifice a young child will give more power than anything else. If you are turning.
Well, I still have to ask you again, is that okay for the chat and for you, these
Yep.
details? All right. Okay. So, okay.
Just here before it says, Michael's asking, but like, I guess if you break the oath, is it punishable by death? I'm guessing. Look, if you're just at a local chapter and you go to work and you have a club thing, probably they're not going to kill you if you just happen to be a first degree and you decide.
It depends how much you know.
Like the further initiations when you're literally getting into politics and other
there
stuff.
will come a point where there is the point of no return. And if you cheat on them, they will find you, and they will murder you. Yeah, that is the truth. Yeah. Okay. So we can continue.
Yep.
It's the darkness, and that is what they did.
After the First World War, many illegitimate and orphan children lived in Bavaria. Children whose disappearance would go unnoticed. And legend had it that the Vril of a child was the most concentrated and most powerful.
They were seen as being gateways between the astral and the material world in a way that adults were not. So consequently, they were ideal victims for human sacrifice.
Human sacrifices to harness an intangible energy. Where did this Vril notion come from? The bizarre concept had been hijacked and distorted from a science fiction novel. After the First World War, a bizarre cult called the Vril Society flourished in Germany. It took its name from a supernatural force, Vril, that could bestow immense power on anyone who could harness it. The concept of Vril was expounded in a book published in 1871 called The Coming Race, written by Edward Bulwer Lytton.
In that book, he describes an underground race called the Vrilia.
And they have complete mastery of the Vril force.
And with that, they can do almost anything.
It was pure science fiction, but it captured an audience and made them firm believers in Vril.
And he falls through a crack and finds himself in a subterranean world inhabited by a race of super beings called the Vrilia, who live down there and who have access to this magical energy, this strange electrofluid called Vril.
Vril.
It gives them the power to do almost anything. They can use it to heal, they can use it to kill.
They can also destroy mankind in the blink of an eye.
And anyone who harnessed this power could wield it.
The protagonist finds out in the course of the novel that a child can use Vril to destroy an entire city.
So imagine if this Vril existed and got into the wrong hands. Could it be that some aspects of Nazi philosophy stem from ideas in a science fiction novel.
Lytton's novel, The Coming Race, in many respects precursored at least some of the ideology that led to the final solution.
This superior race, which is explicitly linked in the book with the Aryan races, can manifest.
You want to stop it a little bit just so we don't get a strike?
Of course.
Go ahead.
Sure.
No, did
No,
you have to add?
You remember the conversation we had, the first one? I told you about the book I bought, a very old one, in a special bookshop for old books, and that was The Coming Race. And I called the guy Edward Balbalighton, because I didn't know how you spell that out. But it's Lytton. So this is exactly what they figured out, and this guy was also a Freemason. This Sir Balbalighton.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is a total fiction. It was written like fiction, but there are certain things I think there were true.
Yeah.
I don't know how far or how much of it, but a lot of it sounded really somebody was talking about something with knowledge.
Okay. Okay, you can start it again. There's no questions. No.
Right. Okay. Well, it's self-explanatory. They tell you everything. So it's quite a good movie. I would say they did a good job in researching the Nazis and the Frill.
So what was up with the like blonde hair, blue eyes? Because I know that there's some people that talk about the Nordics, the alien race with I think typically blue eyes. Is this tied with what Hitler was thinking about, or?
This is the idea of Hitler was that, and I think it did exist. He was talking about Hyperborea. I don't know how you spell that exactly. It's HY, so Hyperborea, maybe you call it. That was before Atlantis. So that was the first continent, and that was a high, how you say, gosh, yeah, English. Sometimes it's difficult. There was very high intelligence. They had high technology, and there were blue eye. They had blue eyes and blonde hair, and so that they called he called them the Übermenschen. And it's so that they are just the top. So they could use also magic, and that is what he thought he will create this race.
Yeah.
Übermenschen. So that's why in Germany, if you was black hair and you have brown eyes, he was not as good. And
Hitler wasn't like he wasn't
that
even.
It was the funny part. How he was very small and ugly, and yeah, he was really.
He was
not a Hyperborean, definitely, but he was the boss, so it didn't matter. Exactly. So he can say what he wants and ask for what he wants.
No, for sure. Okay.
But okay, then shall we continue?
Yep.
Right.
Can you make it bigger? The YouTube screen?
Yeah. Wait a sec. Give me a
Let me
sec.
see if it's better.
Yeah, this one is nearly finished.
That's okay. From now on, do it like that. It's even better.
Okay.
And following the devastation suffered from World War I, some Germans desperately wanted to associate themselves with such a superior race.
Perhaps nobody could believe that this science fiction was fiction.
The end of the book comes with a very serious warning.
Okay, so there we go. Part
right.
2. So I will stop it around 3 minutes every time. Is that okay?
Yeah,
or is that
3
too long?
minutes. just to say that we're commenting and not just using the whole video.
Ah, that's the idea. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like fair use. I've gone through whole documentaries never getting a strike. As long as, like, if anything comes to mind, you don't have to take your screen off. Just leave it, press pause, and when you pause and start talking, I'll just go like this.
Okay, okay. That's fine. All right.
Makes me feel important. I have something to do at least. There, see, I got the power.
Come on, dude. You are important. It is
I'm
your
on the top of
channel.
the pyramid. Bow. Okay.
All right, yeah. We go there then. Don't worry.
Go ahead.
Okay.
These subterranean keepers of the Vril could destroy mankind.
Should they come up and decide they wanted to colonize the surface of the planet, we could be doomed.
It may seem kind of tabloid truth that one would expect to find in sensational newspapers, but the Vril Society really were consciously dedicated to the service of evil, and by their impact on the founders of the Nazi Party, they instilled that evil into the senior leadership of what was to become the most evil regime in the 20th century.
Most sources say that the Vril Society was founded in 1918 at a mysterious meeting in the Bavarian town of Berchtesgaden. It was a holiday center and would later house the country retreat of Adolf Hitler. It is said that in a mountain lodge, a group of occultists and high-ranking German nationalists secretly gathered to create a powerful inner circle called the All-German Society for Metaphysics, otherwise known as the Vril Society.
Essentially, it was founded by two people, Rudolf von Sebottendorf.
Von Sebottendorf had been very active in the occult movement. He was a Freemason, an alchemist, and a founder of the Tula Society. Their belief in a mythical civilization was a precursor to Nazi Aryan ideas.
His real name was Adam Glauer, and he was the son of an engine driver, but he awarded himself a title of nobility.
In creating the Vril Society, von Sebottendorf was joined by a man who would darkly influence world history.
The other main person within it was Dietrich Eckart.
He was said to have strong powers of persuasion, particularly in his anti-Semitic writings.
Dietrich Eckart was Hitler's closest personal friend between 1918 and his death in 1923.
Eckart believed he was paving the road for Germany's own savior.
He was, in many respects, a mad genius. It's no accident he spent a great part of his time in and out of mental institutions.
The founder of the Vril went by a very curious name.
John the Baptist.
And we all know that in the Bible, John Baptist is a sort of paver of the road for the true Messiah.
Eckart was also one of the masterminds behind the Nazi Party.
Eckart saw Hitler as the German Messiah. He saw him as the man sent to save the country.
And he wasn't the only Vril founder who felt that way. It has been suggested that these two men were joined by two women, mediums responsible for finding the hidden occult truths and harvesting Vril.
In those days, it was the golden age of what was known as physical mediumship, where not only were they forever moving objects and table turning and floating, levitating, but also they used to produce a substance called ectoplasm out of their bodies.
One of these mediums is said to have predicted the new German Messiah.
During her state of trance, she declared that the apparition she had given form to was going to be the next German Messiah, who she proceeded to name as Adolf Hitler.
You want to stop it there for a sec?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well,
So-
they were. You have
so
questions?
like, just go over again, in case people don't understand, the Vril, this energy that they're trying to harvest and stuff like that. Can you kind of dig deeper into what exactly they're talking about? It's an energy, this Vril that they're trying to harvest?
Yeah, it's an energy, and
What's the other languages? Would that be like chi or prana?
exactly. You can.
Okay.
It's a life force. You can say it's
Yeah.
your life force, and you access it, and if you would do Reiki,
Yeah.
you would use chi or your own life force to
Yeah.
heal somebody, and to open the chakras, and so that the energy can flow again.
Yeah.
That's actually the main meaning of it from Reiki. It's kind of without using needles, what they also do in
Acupuncture.
China.
Yeah. Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. It's a how you say an energetic acupuncture, you could say,
Yeah. Okay.
because we have
All right.
far more chakras in our body than only the main seven. There are
Yeah.
also chakras in your hands and in your legs and
Yeah.
literally everywhere. So yeah,
Is there a difference? See, like um, I believe in the chakras. It makes perfect sense that we have physical organs, and these would be spiritual organs or centers.
exactly,
Um, but
exactly.
I there's a there's something called Kundalini that I have played around with in my youth. Had a friend as well, and they have warnings about specifically Kundalini meditations where there's a sacred serpent that rests in your coccyx or the lowest chakra, and
Yeah.
you're supposed to meditate to bring the serpent up. When I was reading about that, they had, you're doing this as an attempt for spiritual emergence, but they said that you can have very bad side effects, specifically with the Kundalini meditations. What are your thoughts on that? Is there a difference between just using energy to correct to basically fine tune the chakras, as you would say,
Mm,
and doing that, but using very specifically the Kundalini energy? Like, do you know anything about that? Is it the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing? Is
sure,
it
sure.
different?
Look, the Kundalini, or this energy, or what you actually want to do is that you want to connect your the bottom chakra. That's
Yeah.
the sexual chakra. So there where the sexual energy also comes from, and you want to connect that with the crown chakra, and that's the Kundalini energy. That what they described goes up like a serpent.
Mhm.
Um, and when you can do that, but you should not push it, and that's what the warning is. When you push it too fast, when you, let's say, you want to reach that level of connection, and the energy what comes from it, because you will be much more powerful as a spirit if you can connect that. But if you do the one, let's say you want to do it in a couple of weeks, and you push it every day, and you do that for hours, and you connect it, then maybe your physical body will not be able to cope with that amount of energy, and you might have a stroke, or you might, something really
Psychosis.
bad can happen to you.
Okay.
During the heart
No,
attack.
sorry, I didn't want to take you off topic too much.
No,
It
no,
was
no,
just
no, no, no. It's all right. It's okay. No problem.
perfect. Okay,
So
cool, man. Continue. Sorry about
oh,
the.
no problem. You can interrupt. I told you always. If something pops in your head, or the chat wants to know something, I don't know, want to show only a movie, and then
No, no, it's
people can watch movies at home every day. You
that's
don't need for that.
that's what I'd be doing if we weren't here. No?
Yeah, exactly. That's why we talk.
All right, go ahead. Just 2 minutes
Okay.
at a time.
Okay.
So the Vril Society may have indeed paved the way for the person that they would promote as the country's messiah. Their next step would have been to secure his ultimate weapon, Vril.
They believed that would give them power.
This occult group of German nationalists may have grown quickly to become an elite inner circle of the Nazi Party.
Many of the top leaders, including Hitler himself, were members of the Vril Society. Karl Harrer, Anton Drexler, and Dietrich Eckart are three of the most important figures in the transition from the Vril Society to the Nazi Party.
Eckhart was considered the darkest of them all and dedicated to Hitler's success.
He did have certain perverse gifts, and not least of which was his ability to train Hitler in the use of, what one might loosely call the power of a human heart and human mind.
Hermann Goering, commander of the Luftwaffe, was said to be a member.
It is virtually certain that he was introduced to it in around 1920, probably by Dietrich Eckart.
Alfred Rosenberg, minister of the Third Reich, probably a member.
Rosenberg believed that the Aryan race was superior to every other, of course, and he believed that Jesus was not Jewish but an Aryan.
Rudolf Hess, deputy Führer, another likely member.
Hess believed everything. He used to sleep with magnets under his bed to try and draw off harmful emanations.
Mark?
Yeah, okay. Magnets. Well, they work. They do work. They help. For example, I worked with a colleague. He was from Croatia, and he told me about there are places where people go. There are different places with magnetic fields, and some one place is just for healing rheuma. Or how you call that in English? Rheuma.
What is it?
Rheuma. This is between your bones, and or when you cannot move your fingers good, or so. There's like something in between your bones.
Like a cushion? A cushion between them? There, because between bones you would have inside the bone you have bone marrow.
It's an illness,
Cartilage
and
is like a cushion. Then you have ligaments and tendons. Those are what move.
yeah. But I think it is from the calc inside your what actually makes your fingers stiff. So, and this guy told me. So he told me that he went there because he had it really bad with his knee, and when he went there, he stood there for a couple of minutes, and for nearly 1 year, he didn't have any pain. He didn't have any pain or anything, and he told me there are many people they go there to these places, and these are all the ley lines from the earth.
Yeah.
And they have also cross points, and you know that churches are standing on these ley lines on the cross points.
Yeah, pyramids as well.
The pyramids as well.
Sacred
Exactly.
megaliths.
So we come in closer. Pyramids.
Hey, I'm just putting you on full screen. The coffee's. I have to go deal with
Sure.
the coffee coming out. I'll just
problem.
put you like this so you can speak while I'm gone.
Okay, so
I
will
continue.
do another 2 or 3 minutes, and then I will stop and maybe something.
You want to play it, the video? Sure. Just give me a second.
Or we can stop with the video also. We don't have to watch the full thing. I guess if there are questions now, or there will arose more questions when we talk, because most of the stuff they talk about, I know where this is going, and we don't have to watch the full show here. So it depends on you. It depends on the chat. What you prefer.
Do you are you finished with the YouTube? Not the YouTube. The website that we were looking at the start, or we could pop up again if you're done with the actual just share screen. We could continue a video. I'm fine with that. Play the video a little bit more. I just have to go to the washroom, and I'll be back. And
okay.
And what we could do is if you're like, what do you have left as visuals? You have videos? Do you have
No. That was actually it, because it was 50 minutes. I thought it will be too much and too long.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, like we're hitting. I didn't want to go more than 2 hours because I'd rather have multiple times that you come, and then present a little bit more, concentrate on one chapter and another. I think going past 2 hours, it actually
It's too much.
reduces the chance of people watching because they find it too long. So
Of course, and it is also, I guess, for me to talk so much. It's very yeah. I'm not used to that. I
it's
mean, I
not your
talk a
first
lot,
time either.
in front of audience and so on. It makes it, of course, takes more energy from me. But
For sure.
I'm still feeling fine. That's not a problem. But you're
Yeah,
right.
no, you know what? I
Maybe
think we should.
1.5 hours per stream.
Yeah, like an hour and a half. 2 is fine, but I think going beyond 2,
It's
I
too
rather
long.
tease them, give them a little at a time. Here, I'll take you out of solo screen. Sorry about that. Exit solo screen. Yeah, I think this is a good time to stop. It'll give you time, to do a little bit more, because I know you were mentioning a lot of your stuff is in German and stuff, and you have to kind of find the English versions and stuff like that. We did a
Exactly.
great 2 hours. I thank you a lot, man. It was super, super interesting.
Thank
I
you.
learned a lot. It was well presented, and we can certainly build off that the next time I'm allowed to sneak off and have some time to do this. So you want to stop it here, man?
Yeah, well, we can stop it here, and we can have a little chat if you need to know something, or we just stop it completely. And
Here's one last question, and then when you're done with this question, we'll just stop the stream and we'll
all
get
right,
together again.
then we do it like that. So I go out here. Right, I come to you.
That's it.
Okie dokie. So
Yeah, I posted the question up on the screen.
okay. Yes. World War II, a secret society was the German economy was on top. Well, this war was a much bigger war because America also was involved. England was involved. It was it was actually a war to control the whole planet, and the point is, Russia wasn't easy to defeat. Russia just is so big, and it was in the wintertime when the Germans just couldn't make it. So there they got stopped in Russia, and that actually ended the war because we lost so many Germans. There was not many people left. They were sending 14-year-old children to the war, to the front. There's one movie plays in the Netherlands, The Bridge, and there you see all these young children. They are still children, teenager man, and they just get killed there, and it's really bad. It went really bad. But yeah, it's right. It's correct. It was much larger. Um, it was really a conspiracy war, actually, totally. And later on, the all these Nazi Germans, they went. They did not went, but they actually were. They took them. They asked them to come to the United States because there were a lot of scientists there. And so Werner von Braun, for example, he was the head of NASA, and yeah, so they took Nikola Tesla with all these crazy inventions he made, and nothing came out. They just hide everything. So yeah, it was an interesting war, not in a good way, but just from the information you can get out of it, how they tried to control already the world. I found a book the next time I will present that, not the whole book, but only 2 pages, 3 pages is enough.
Yeah.
Where it was written in 1940 to 40, between 1940 and 1943, and it talks about the Plan X. So there I got the idea that maybe Elon Musk took that, not the idea, but the X itself, to how you say, to counter that plan. Because signs are very symbols are very important also in magic or metaphysics or in the occult. They use that everywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right then. So you know
all
what?
good.
Let's cut it off, Kurt. And yeah, there's so many other topics we could concentrate. One of them just on NASA. We can focus another one specifically United States involvement. You know, in relation to this, and just kind of fine tune and you know, build a great series. So I want to thank you very much. You did a great job. You
My
presented
pleasure.
well. And that's it, guys. So God
Right.
bless, and I'll see you guys around.
Have a
Thanks
nice
again.
weekend, all of you
Yep.
guys.
See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. What a great job Kurt did. So, guys, as well, if ever you have any questions, topics of interest, I'm going to put my um, email out there. This is one that I use for the public. If you feel that you would like to come on as a guest and you feel that you have an area that you're quite knowledgeable in that could be very interesting, then just send me an email. If there's anybody who wants to collaborate between various channels that may see this, you know, just send me an email and we will see what kind of stuff we want to do. We want to try and build this community. And I do my little things in the morning and on Mondays and throw in here and there some topics that are of interest to me. But I am willing to have guests on and really just, you know, give you guys the platform and basically the microphone to express what you know, to share what you think would be of value and that would benefit everybody. So here's the email. I just posted it. So contact me if you're interested and we can talk offline and see if we can get something going. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. This is the end of the broadcast. See you soon.